Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my pregnancy update for weeks 30 and 31. As always, if you have missed my previous pregnancy updates, I will go ahead and link the entire playlist in a card right here for you guys, as well as all of the individual videos down below. I also have a ton of baby hauls and other mommy and pregnancy related videos here on my channel, so if you are in the mood to watch some more, definitely go and check those out down below. But I think we're gonna go ahead and just get into it this time around. I don't actually have too much to talk about, surprisingly. Normally these videos are kind of long, but I don't really have too much to go over today, so this is going to be kind of a shorter update, and then next week is going to be my 32-week update, and it's going to be a little standalone, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. As always, I do have my computer off to the side, so if I'm looking down, that is why. Week 30, baby now weighs 3 pounds and is supposed to be putting on a ½ pound per week from here until the end of the pregnancy, so she's definitely getting big. I kind of dropped the ball these last couple of weeks as far as keeping track of weight gain and cravings and symptoms and stuff like that. It was just a very busy couple of weeks leading up to Christmas, so I kind of got a little bit behind on those, but symptoms for week 30, I was still having a lot of heartburn. Again, Tums have been my BFF lately. These are the ones that I use, that I love. These are the mint kind, not the peppermint kind, the regular mint kind. They're kind of creamy, they sort of dissolve a little bit better, they're not quite as chalky as the normal peppermint kind, so I really like these and I've been going through them like crazy. Also, my nausea has kind of been coming and going a little bit. Here in the third trimester, it's definitely been returning. Highlights for week 30, we actually went and toured both of the hospitals that are in the city that we live in. So we actually are lucky enough to have 2 hospitals. One of them is the big main hospital that has like the emergency room, the NICU, all of the surgical operation rooms, all that kind of stuff, the life flight, the big main hospital. And then we also have a smaller hospital that is just down the street from that one. It has a smaller NICU. There's no emergency room or anything like that. It's just a lot smaller and cozier of a hospital. It's a lot newer and a lot more recently updated. So we went and took a tour of both of them because my doctor actually is able to go to both hospitals, so we get to pick which one we want to go to. So we went and we looked at both of them, and I think that we have decided which one we want to go with. I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you guys some of the questions that I brought with me to ask during the hospital tour. I did a lot of research on Pinterest of different things to ask when you go to the hospital, and these were the ones that were the most important to me and my husband. So this is the list of questions that we brought with us. So the first question that we asked were the cafeteria hours, because obviously we're going to be there for a couple of days, and so we want to make sure that we have something to eat. Both hospitals are pretty centrally located as far as restaurants and stuff go, so I'm not super worried about it, but we did want to get the cafeteria hours, so that might be something you want to ask about. I wanted to ask if all of the rooms were private or if they had any shared rooms, and I also thought it was a really good idea to ask if all of the rooms are the same or if they have some rooms that are a little bit more updated than others, some that are a little bit nicer than others, because obviously when they're doing the tour, they're probably going to show you the nicest, most updated rooms, so you definitely want to ask if they're all the same so that you don't end up getting put in a room that's way more outdated than what you were expecting. So I thought that was a good idea of something to ask as well. I also made a point to ask what kind of sleeping arrangements they had for my husband and if he was allowed to stay in the room overnight with me or not, and visiting hours as well for the rest of my family. And I think both hospitals that we went to have pull-out beds, which is cool. So most hospitals will, but sometimes for some reason they don't want people to stay with you overnight or something like that. So I mean, just it's nice to check on that and see if they have like a cot that they can bring in or some kind of sleeping arrangements, especially if you have other kids and you want the other kids to stay with you. That is a good thing to ask. We do not, this is our first one, but that would be a good thing to ask the hospital for sure, is if your other kids can come and stay or if they need to stay like with grandma and grandpa while you're at the hospital. Another thing that was really important for us to find out is where we go when we show up to have the baby. So if they want us to come in the main doors, if they want us to go through the ER, and both hospitals said to just come right in the main doors unless it's after hours, and then they do have the separate emergency room at the bigger hospital, and the smaller hospital has an emergency phone that you pick up and they buzz you in. So something else I was really curious about is whether or not they do all of the newborn exams there in the room, or if they take the baby off to the nursery to do all of the exams. Both hospitals that I personally looked at do the exams in the room right there, so there's really no reason for the baby to leave the room, which is great, but you might want to check with your hospital. Also, I wanted to find out if I have to be attached to fetal monitors and IVs and stuff the entire time, or if I'm able to kind of get up and walk around during labor. I am just feeling like I don't really want to be strapped to a bed for like 12, 13, 14 plus hours. So I would like to get up and walk around at some point, and they said that that all just kind of depends on how the baby is doing and what the doctor wants to monitor and stuff like that. But I thought that that was another good idea of something to ask. Also, eating and drinking during labor. I know different hospitals have different rules. Some only allow you to have crushed ice. Some allow you to have juice and water. It just kind of depends on where you're at. So that might be something to ask. And I also wanted to find out how long each of the hospitals make you stay for. So they said for a VBAC you can stay for 48 hours, and for a C-section you can stay for 72 hours. You don't necessarily have to stay for that long, but that is how long they will keep you there max time, if that makes sense. So if you want to stay for the full 3 days, you can. If you only want to stay for 2, if everything's looking good, you can go home at that point. So that is kind of what we're looking at, is somewhere around 2 or 3 days to stay at the hospital. That is pretty much it for week 30. Week 31, I don't really have very much to share here. I started having a lot of shortness of breath, especially going up and down the stairs. We do live in a townhouse, and so we have a lot of stairs, and they're pretty steep, and it's been getting really rough going up and down the stairs. Again, as always here, just feeling super uncomfortable and squished and like I'm running out of room. Having a lot of trouble sleeping. I've been pretty much good up until this point, but it's starting to get really uncomfortable. Also been having a lot of back aches, especially in my lower back. And I have found that it's been really helpful to have my husband help me get in and out of bed. Especially getting out of bed in the morning has been really nice to have him come around and kind of pull me up a little bit. I don't need him to. I can get out on my own, but it's just really helpful to have someone helping me. So, cravings for the week: chocolates and sweets. My entire first trimester, all I wanted was salty foods and savory foods. I was craving like pizza and pasta and barbecue sauce and all kinds of just really savory food, and I was not craving sweets at all. And I was really convinced that I was having a boy, actually, because normally with a girl you crave sweets, and I did not want any sweets at all. They would make me super sick. But now that I'm in my 3rd trimester, I've been really wanting sweets. So that's flipped pretty quick, and I've been craving like chocolate and cookies and candy all the time. This is the week that my breasts started to leak. And it's just been a couple little teeny tiny drops, nothing crazy, nothing super often, just some little droplets here and there. So that is all I have for this pregnancy update. Like I said, week 32 coming up, I have a whole separate video for, and I also have a haul attached onto my week 32 pregnancy update, so stay tuned for that because it's going to be a fun one. Otherwise, as I said, check out all of my other pregnancy update videos. If you have not seen them, definitely be sure to subscribe to see the rest of them here. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.